Unpopular opinion, tracing isn't always that bad. It might be an unpopular take that the art community is kind of mean. Guys, stealing a color palette isn't a real thing. Okay guys, you might actually hate me for this one, like I'm not kidding. Digital art is real art. Like, I don't know why these fancy pens are critical go, oh, it's on a computer, so it's doing all the work. Like, we used our real hands to make these real drawings, and they really want us to leave.
It's all happening. Like, don't get me started.
Unpopular opinion? A lot of unpopular opinion art videos are just filled with popular opinions. So let's discuss some real unpopular opinions. I'm mainly going to be talking about how some of the standards in the art community are pretty backwards and really harming young artists specifically. Before we start, these are all my own opinions. You can agree or disagree, whatever, blah blah blah. Okay. Unpopular opinion: don't follow absolutists with no formal art training. I gained this opinion after the whole Colleen situation. Like, just because someone has a big following and a nice style doesn't mean they actually know what they're talking about. I'm sorry for bringing this up, but as someone with a gorilla looking profile, I feel like I'm allowed to speak on this one. I still can't get over how she called the side profile of a black OC gorilla looking. Like, how do you slip up like that? Anyways, that just goes to show you that a lot of these creators just go by their own beauty standards or what they learned from some art tutorial. And like, we all know those art tutorials are kind of weird. Like, I remember when I was younger, I saw this one art tutorial that said to draw the woman really curvy and the boys just like really straight and lean and kind of muscular. And I just like saved it to my Pinterest without questioning it. Like, yeah, girls are curvy, guys muscled. You're so right. It's easier for an older person to see a tutorial like this and go, oh, it's just a tip for exaggerating proportions. But when you're younger, you kind of just take it at face value. Online tutorials often lack that nuance that's important for beginners. They're made this way because it's easier to explain something in absolutes. When you go into the technicalities, it gets harder to keep it as this easily understandable and shareable tip. Get your education from someone who's gone to art school and or has actually worked in the industry. Personally, I like Mark Brunet's stuff. He's got a nice sense of humor and some pretty good tips. Now, I'm not saying to drop every artist that gives art advice, but then go to school for it. Like, I'm not a snob. I specifically said absolutists for a reason. It's the people that go, never draw this, it's wrong, it's always wrong, and your art's just gonna look so bad if you even try. I'm not talking about the people who give actual advice. Like, I like Lavender Town's approach to this. Despite the name, in her series, Draw This Not That, she often starts off by saying that this is just what she personally does and you don't have to do it exactly like her. Like, she went to an art school, makes art videos, is running a popular comic, and yet still gives this disclaimer. In my opinion, creators like that are the best ones to follow. Unpopular opinion: TikTok is better than Instagram for artists. Like, way better. Like, I cannot explain just how much better TikTok is than Instagram. I feel like there's a lot of fear mongering about how, oh, TikTok is just so mean and like everyone is just gonna dox you and make you into art lore if you just post like one bad drawing. Like, no. That's not gonna happen. TikTok is pretty harsh, but let's not act like Instagram is any better. Like, I have a whole video I'm working on that's just about how vile the comments on Instagram Reels are. In my own personal experience, I've never gotten any mean comments on TikToks. I've been using it for nearing a year now, and I've only gotten like 3 kinda weird comments. And those are on videos that got more views. The comments are more so just unnecessary feedback. I wouldn't even call them mean. TikTok people aren't gonna hang you for drawing one thing bad. It's just whenever a drama happens on there, everyone jumps on it and makes a video about it, which makes it seem like it's just like this awful place for posting art when it's really not. Like, just keep in mind, when these art drama channels make videos about how there's all this drama on TikTok, they have to like exaggerate it because that's what people want to see when they go into a drama video. They don't want to click on and see, oh, someone did something kind of weird, and then everyone was like, yeah, that's kind of weird. No, they're just gonna pick like the worst examples and just really push it. I'm not saying that TikTok is this holy place though, because the people on there, they can get pretty wild and passionate once they do find a target, but not everyone is a target, if you get what I'm saying. I don't really see people get into the benefits of posting on TikTok, which really sucks because it's really good for growth. There is way more reach on TikTok versus like any other platform. You're guaranteed 200 views every time you post. When I first started posting on TikTok, I didn't follow any trends. I would just post like a 15-second speed paint to whatever trending audio there was. I've taken weeks off of posting on TikTok, came back and got the same amount of views. Now as for Instagram, that's a whole other thing. People say that Instagram prioritizes reels, but from my own personal experience, my reels always do worse than my regular posts. It was probably easier to grow on Instagram before they introduced Reels, but now that's their main focus, so. I've been posting on there for around a year and a half and have maintained basically the same amount of followers since I started. At the beginning, I tried posting once a week. I always used the hashtags. I'd even draw fan arts and still there was no change. I just gave up on the platform because it seemed like they removed everything that was useful for growing small accounts. I just use it as an archive now. Anyways, please don't be scared to post on TikTok. I promise they don't bite. And if you're afraid of getting any negative comments, just turn off your TikTok notifications and don't check the comments. Unpopular opinion, it's 100% valid to want attention. Some artists, usually the bigger ones I feel, tell other artists to not post for attention. You should be making art for yourself and not for some randoms on the internet. And I agree with this to an extent, but here's the thing. If you're on social media, you want attention. Now this isn't a negative thing. Everyone wants attention to some extent, and no one's bad for wanting that. But if you're posting something online, you're doing so because you want other people to see it. Lots of people to see it. You want praise for your work, or you just want to find some art friends, or you want to be part of a community. Art is meant to be shared, so of course you want others to pay attention to yours. Also, if you want a future as an art creator, you have to be invested in these internet trends and how your account is doing. It doesn't have to be your sole focus and you shouldn't let it consume you, but you gotta be aware of it. It's really easy to not feel forced to fall into any trends if you just blend it with the stuff that you already wanted to make. For example, Art Fair was going on a bit ago, so of course the whole art community was invested in that. I knew I wanted to make a video that would get people's attention, and I already had some thoughts on the topic. So I made a video about it, and it actually did pretty well. Basically, you're not vain for wanting internet people to see your stuff. Anyone who's posting on the internet wants that as well. It's just taboo to straight up say that. Anyways, that's all for my actually unpopular art opinions. You guys agree or disagree with what I said? Do you have your own unpopular opinions? I want to discuss them, so leave them down in the comments. If you guys like this video enough, I can make a part 2. I've got some more interesting takes. Be sure to follow at stariegazer on Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe here on YouTube. I post art and commentary videos every week, so I'll see you soon. Bye bye.